Okay, next one is application virtualization. So what is this application virtualization? From here only. Okay, so one side, this is a type of desktop virtualization only, but not complete one. Okay, but it is, there is a difference between desktop application and presentation virtualization. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to explain present application virtualization. So what is this application virtualization? Simply to understand, y- take a server or a PC. So we have a hardware. So this hardware means CPU, your RAM. Any application runs in your system, utilize your resources like hard disk, CPU, RAM resources. Okay, and here in this one, I am using a certain softwares to virtualize the application. Virtualize the application. So this is my application. Applications interacts with your operating system to run because it has to interact with my hardware. So it interacts with the operating system and runs on my hardware. Through operating system only it can able to run. It need a certain libraries which is available with the operating system only. So it's through operating system and operating system kernel it interacts with your hardware, and of course the app is to run the app. What are the main important? Operating system, of course, hardware. That is important now. So using certain techniques, I virtualize my application. I virtualize my application. So what is the condition for virtualized kind of stuff? It utilize OS and hardware, but not interacts with your main resources. It won't interact with the resources. It utilize the resources. That's it. It utilize the resources, but no interacts to its resources. That's the simplest thing you can say in a virtualization. So this application runs as a application and it utilizes the resources, but no binding. Okay. Next, another hand, multiple type of users, different type of users through remotely they can access this application also. They can access same application can be accessed by multiple users remotely because of it is virtualized. Same as a presentation virtualization, right? But here is a small difference is there. In a application virtualization, application runs in a main server, and also it runs in a client environment. It also can run, I can run in my client environment, and also I can run in my server environment. So both the possibilities, I can access the application from anywhere. That is the one thing, without hardware dependencies or operating system dependencies. For example, application is Windows based application, I can run in a Linux also using a simple web browser. So I can access a server, so then I can access the application. So no need of operating system dependency here because it is already running in a certain environment. Remotely it is running. Of course, if I want to run the same application in my desktop, I want to run the same application also, I can run it. So this is called a application virtualization. So in a presentation virtualization, application only runs in the server. It won't run in the user's desktop. Only they can connect to the remote server and they can access the remote application. Okay, in a presentation virtualization, as I said, users can connect to the remote server, access the remote application, and application runs in the server only, not at a user end. But in a application virtualization, application can run in a server and as well as I can run in user end also. And user want to access only application and don't want to run in their personal PC, not required. So they can run remotely also. So that is a application virtualization. If you don't understand, no problem. But later read it, so then you will understand little bit. That's the difference between your presentation virtualization and application virtualization. So this is remote desktop. So we'll back to the remote desktop again. So this is I told now XV mode. Okay. Network virtualization, storage, user state virtualization, presentation virtualization. So if you read, remote desktop services allow their either a desktop or an application that running on a server to display on the client. So client can view the application by accessing remotely using remote desktop or remote app, but actual application running in a remote server only. Application virtualization is a advanced loading balance something is given. Okay. So there is a native environment, non-native environment it is showing. Okay. But important thing is application virtualization. So it runs in a both in a server, and if you want to run in your local PC, also you can run it. Both will sync together. So that's a very simplest thing. It is giving very big. So here is the information is there. You can try. But I do not this, and I want another one. Yeah. So this is from VMware Thin app. From VMware Thin app. VMware Thin app. VMware Thin app is an application to make to or create application virtualization. So you want to make some application or a server for a virtualization purpose, means application virtualization purpose. The application we use is Thin app. Okay, service we got it is a Thin app.
It's like thin client.
That is Thin client. Thin client is
Okay.
a piece of hardware.
For remote
We
desktop.
can connect usually like basic very small low level hardware in it. Only use it to
Okay.
connect remote machines only. It won't run any application. It contains some basic commands only, inbuilt application or a inbuilt operating system only to connect remote machines.
Okay. So difference between this thin app and thin client is
Thin app for a application virtualization purpose, means multiple users can access same application from their desktops through any PC, through laptop, desktop, or anything. You can able to access it through browser. You can able to access it. This is
okay.
application
Access
virtualization
through
side.
browser. Okay, sir.
Okay, so from VMware, thin client is a hardware to connect remote PCs, because normal physical PC is costly, because you need a CPU, motherboard, and all. It cost is more, and you have to install operating system. But thin client don't have anything, so simply to connect remotely and access remotely only. Thin app is for a application virtualization purpose. This is from Microsoft Hyper-V. So Hyper-V virtualize apps by abstracting them from operating system, because if you are install application, so application is binded to your operating system. Compulsory operating system support is compulsory. Of course, here also compulsory, but it will abstract from operating system, so make it as a independent. Displays to user if there are installed locally. Um, app we allowing compatible apps. to run side by side on the same operating system. It means I have a Windows machine, but I have a Linux based application, so I can install and run because of AppV through AppV. Okay, AppV can be streamed from the server on demand or deployed as a MSA file. Simplified process of upgrading applications, easy to upgrade kind of stuff. There is a few more things are there. Of course, I have, but if I open it is another problem. Yeah, this is another example of AppV. Microsoft Store. Okay, using this basic Microsoft Store application, I can download an application into my local PC. Understand? This is the Microsoft Store. Hello. Okay, this is the Microsoft Store, and it contains so many applications. See, WhatsApp like this, Instagram. This is the lot of applications are there, right? So whenever you are open, you can install it directly from here. Okay, so one example it is, I'm not telling this is the direct example. This is the one kind of example here it is. Okay, and another side is incompatible applications, like different type of applications runs in a different environments. So still here you can able to run both the types, so using AppI. So from Microsoft AppI. Okay, so this is a presentation virtualization, and use state for a, yeah, one more is there, XenApp from Citrix. XenApp, these are applications to get what we can say, these are applications to for application virtualization purpose. Okay, and this is about Windows 7. Okay, okay. No problem. Okay, guys, this is about your application virtualization. Now I'm going back to desktop virtualization. Okay, so why I'm going to desktop virtualization, we'll see. Because earlier I said for a desktop virtualization is it's a kind of guys, my voice is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Oh, sir.
no.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll test my share some. It's showing some network issue, that's why. Just wait a second, just relax. I will check my internet is good or not. Otherwise, I have to close some applications and it will recover.
Okay, so
Okay. Mm, that is okay. That is okay. Okay, so this is my server. Yeah. Earlier, I said one an example that is type 2 virtualization. It means you have a hardware. On top of hardware, you have an operating system, and then you have a hypervisor application like a VMware workstation or a Oracle VirtualBox. Using this application, I can create a and run virtual machines as per my requirement. So that is type 2 virtualization. And also I told this is a, also we can say this is also a desktop virtualization. It's a very simple one. Understand first point, guys? Okay, second one, I told XP mode is the best example for a desktop virtualization. So why it is? Because you have a Windows 7 operating system. Windows 7 means the old applications runs on a XP, and drivers only compatible with XP operating system. But you have a Windows 7 which is not supporting your old applications are a drivers. So XE mode is a virtual machine, so which integrates the applications running in this PC to Windows 7. So then, so you, whenever you're running some application, either it is running directly on Windows 7 operating system or running application in a XP operating system. Okay, so you open some application, the application it is look like from Windows 7 operating system, but either it is running in your Windows 7 operating system or maybe it is running on this one. It is a kind of AppV type, means application virtualization and desktop virtualization, because I am running two desktops. I am running an application. I am running an application on Windows 7 which is not compatible with Windows 7, which is not compatible with Windows 7. It compatible with XP only, but I'm running it in a same desktop only. So this is also application virtualization. Okay. So this is the second type. Means I will repeat the second one. Understand application virtualization from this example. Okay. So this is my Windows 7 machine. Okay. So and I am running an application. I'm running an application which is not compatible with a Windows 7 OS, which is not compatible with a Windows 7 OS. It compatible with a XP only. It compatible with a XP only. But still I am running in a my desktop only. How it is possible? Because of XP mod. So this is a easy way to understand application virtualization, one part. And another side, we can say it is a one example, best example for desktop virtualization. Some may won't agree with certain statements. If they try, also they also don't know how to explain it. Guys, that's the thing. That's why these many examples are there. Okay. Next, the original desktop virtualization, again, it is a VDI architecture. Virtual desktop infrastructure is separate concept is there. Okay. So this is I'm simplified everything. This is my server virtualization. Server virtualization. Guys, anybody will tell what is server virtualization? Simple tell. No need of big sentences. What you understand, tell. Because I told so many times. No need to think. Try. If it is not good, then it is very good. You will try again.
Physical server divided into multiple servers.
Tell me again.
Physical server divided into multiple servers.
Very good. Good. This is my physical server. So while creating virtual machines in this server, yeah, very good. Partitions of server into multiple. Okay, you can say that one. I can install multiple virtual machines in the single physical server. Are running of multiple guest operating systems, guest OSs, the single server, also called as server virtualization. We can tell that one. And on server virtualization is actually bare metal virtualization, because hypervisor we can install directly on hardware without any other operating system support. Okay, so we can run virtual machines like this. This is a server virtualization. Okay, so out of all, guys, if something has happened to your brain after telling this one, or while telling this one, while I'm telling this one, if something, your brain is damaged, or you got mad, you got a suicide tempters, a suicide kind of things, it is okay. Okay, it is okay. So don't worry. Okay, it is okay, but make sure you paid fees already. Okay, so this is my virtual machine. It is just a virtual machine. This is my server virtualization, bare metal virtualization, type 1 virtualization. I'm running a virtual machine. How to access this virtual machine? Through remote desktops, putties, depends upon uh, guest OS, right? Through the network. But what I'm doing is I install an application. Applications are running here, and using AppV or a thin app or a Xen app. Okay, I virtualize these applications, and also I virtualize user experience. What is user experience? Same remote desktop concept, only multiple users log into same desktop, but their profile data creates in the same desktop differently. Again, I forget this point, right? This is my remote desktop. These are my clients. These are my clients users. They can log into remote desktop, right? So they can log into this machine with different usernames based on license. User 1, user 2, user 3. Okay, they log into same desktop, and they access an applications, and they saved some data after application, like a MS Office or like that. They run some application, they create some documents, they save the document. Where it will save? Their profile data. Like you log into a PC, your profile data will share, right? Your profile will data will be there. So I will show you that one, if you don't remember or you don't know. So this is my profile data. See, these are all my profile data. If you see here, it is desktop, documents, windows, downloads, contacts, favorites, links, music, OneDrive, pictures, saved games such as videos. These are all my profile data. Of course, all these things are belongs to my profile only. Okay, so it's a separate folder. Okay, these are our profile data, 3D objects, documents, downloads, desktop, music, and all. This is user profile data. One user profile data cannot be shared to other user. For example, if I have a 10 users, so this is the one user, two user, three user, four user, five users. Like the different folders are there. Different folders are there, like a C colon slash users slash user 1 slash user 2 slash user 3, like that. Different folders, their profile data, users profile data stores here only. Okay, so all users are logged into same desktop, but their experience is different, and we can able to virtualize their profile data using user experience virtualization. That is called a user state virtualization. That is called a user state virtualization. User state virtualization. So what is user state virtualization? A user log into remote server. Okay, so multiple users are login. Each individual users their profile data created and maintained, and make sure it is not depends upon, completely not depends upon that physical server. The profile data stores in centrally. You log into a remote machine, you create some data, but data won't create in a centrally again. Something brain damaging kind of stuff. User is log into remote PC, and remote PC try to create their profile, and where it stores in remote PC only. But what I'm doing is I don't want to store there. I want to store separately in my sandbox or NAS box. Usually in a NAS, network attached storage. All users profile data should store centrally, not in the remote machine. Okay, so that is I configured by using user state virtualization. Okay, application is UE-V, user state experience virtualization. Okay, so that is user state virtualization. So I don't know how many people are understand. If it is, it's okay to if you are not getting the point also. Okay, but I'm not telling like that. But you can try it. So first of all, a lot of people don't know the basics also. Not belongs to you are whether you are civil or mechanical or anything. The basic concepts, even though if you are a CSC, lot of people get confused. So it's not belongs to your branch and all. But what I'm doing is okay. So what I'm trying to say is um, first of all try what is the profile, what is user profile, difference between a user to another user. So how in the same PC two users are there, their profile data is different. My desktop is look like this, sir. I create a login here, and then I log in with that user, another user. Okay, so their desktop is maybe different. This entire desktop icons data is belongs to my current user only. So that is profile data, simply to say. Okay, now I using a app, I make this application as a virtual, so it is not depends upon your OS. Okay, users in the machine, users in this machine using user state virtualization, I make them to store in a separate. So there are also not depends upon this machine. Okay, and this machine itself not depends upon my physical machine. Okay, so these many things I'm doing. So I took a desktop using a certain software. I make this one as a desktop virtualization. So to make a certain machine. Okay, just wait a minute. Someone is shouting that neighbor kid. Okay, got silent. Okay, so I have a virtual machine which is running in a server using a desktop virtualization software. I virtualize this desktop. I virtualize this type of even it's a virtual machine, but I virtualize this desktop, and I have to virtualize to do that one to do a machine as a to virtualize the desktop. To virtualize the desktop, what we need, we have to virtualize their applications and users, the users in the desktop and use applications in the desktop. First we have to virtualize, then only we can virtualize this machine. So what is the advantage of it? So a remote users can access this desktop very easily and very intact mode, means no binding kind of stuff. Okay, so locally we can able to access directly. Okay, so more integration means every application is runs like a separate way, so there is a lot of advantage. So I will show you the PPT now. So this is client side virtualization, allow virtual machine to run on client computers provide a provides a application compatibility solution by allowing users to run virtualized instance of a earlier operating system and applications. That is, I said type 2 virtualization, right? But in a VDI means virtual desktop infrastructure. User connected to client computers that runs as a virtual machine on a central server. That's the first point I said. You take a server and there is a virtual machine. A user is connected to that virtual machine. User can run their apps and access their data on the virtual machine from any computer or a device that support remote desktop client software. Reduce the hardware cost and support BYOD. So here is client side virtualization and VDI environment. So what is the difference? In a client side virtualization, client has some application and create a VMs and run a VMs in his own desktop. For example, my desktop, I have a VMware software and I create a virtual machine and running the virtual machine. That is called a client side virtualization. VDA type of virtualization. In VDA type of virtualization means there is a virtual machine in the server, client accessing the virtual machine through remote desktop and accessing their applications using remote desktop, client softwares or remote apps kind of stuff. So this is a simply say desktop virtualization. This is simply say desktop virtualization with a lot of words. So how to tell desktop virtualization? Two ways: client side virtualization, virtual desktop infrastructure virtualization. So client side virtualization, a user install an application like a VMware workstation, virtual box, okay, and using that application create a virtual machines, run the virtual machine in the their same desktop only. So like that, you example you can also tell you created a VM, you install a VMware workstation and install a, you created a virtual machine for a Windows 10, you created a virtual machine for Windows Server, and also you created a virtual machine for Linux. Same example you can tell. Okay, same thing. What you done also you can tell. And what is a VDA type means there is a server running a virtual machine. You are accessing that virtual machine through remote desktop or a remote access. Okay, and also you can virtualize their applications if required, their user state and applications. Virtualize it for a complete virtual desktop or multiple users can able to access same virtual machine as a remote desktop. That is also we can include the point. Which point is more easy for you? Tell that point only. Okay. So only one virtualization, no, two virtualizations are left. So one is storage virtualization, another one is network virtualization. Guys, relax for just 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Just relax, and meanwhile, I will just close and I will explain this